In this video, I'm going to explain to you the difference between 1-string, 3-string, basic, and pro chords, and how and why you might switch from one to the other. First, I'm going to select a song. I'll select Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. If you're not taken to the chords screen, go ahead and click Chords at the top to get there. To see your different chord options, click on the green word next to chords. It will either say 1-string, 3-string, basic, or pro, depending on which setting you used last. Let's start by looking at the 3-string chords. These chords use only the notes found on the first 3 strings of the basic open chord. Besides D, they require only 1 or 2 fingers, and in the case of E minor, no fingers at all. Many elementary school teachers use this setting for many months or even years before moving on to basic chords. However, starting with these chords will give learners of all ages an almost instant feeling of success that can help give them the confidence they need to keep moving forward.
So my first year of teaching it, I taught using a 5-string A chord, and I felt that it took a good 3 to 4 classes, which is, what is that? I'm terrible with math. A ninth of the year, in order for them to just get one chord and feel comfortable with it. Whereas whenever I taught them, here's an E minor, there are no fingers that go down. It's just these 3 strings, and here's a G. They've already learned 2, and it took them maybe 20 minutes. So the difference in that is you can already teach Arcade Fire's Haiti like right away, and there are a few other songs too that you can add in there. So their level of confidence is built up right away, and they don't feel as frustrated, and they're still getting that tonality, that feel of, and they're hearing the harmony of it as well.
1-string chords will have your students playing the root note only on one of the lowest 3 strings of the guitar, and they're also a great place to start. These are also perfect to get your students learning the names of the notes and puts them more in the role of a bass player. Eventually, they can use their knowledge of the root notes to play power chords, which are just the root note and the 5th. By using the supporting materials, you can have half of the class play 3-string chords and half the class play root notes, which will really fill out the sound and be an easy way to create a beginner arrangement. Basic chords are your regular full open chords using up to 6 strings per chord and are the default setting for the 4 chords app. This is where most people start when they learn guitar, so the built-in Justin guitar tutorials are for these chords only. You can click on them from the chord screen to watch an in-depth lesson from the internet's most popular guitar teacher.
Hi, how you doing? Justin Sandico here. In this lesson we're going to be looking at how to play a D chord. Okay, now a lot of people find this a little bit awkward when they first try. Most of the problem comes from trying to keep the fingers too square, and doing that.
Or you can go straight to the Academy icon on the bottom to go through each chord sequentially. Many older students will be ready for these chords within a few class periods of practice, while it can take much more time with elementary age kids. However, you can always print out the basic chords for the more advanced students, while the majority of the class watches the simplified chords on the screen, or vice versa. It's always best though to do whatever you can to make sure each and every student in your class is set up for success. The pro chords version of a song often contains 1 or 2 more new chords, along with bar chords, sus chords, and 7th chords.
Do you know how to play an E minor 7 chord? That's okay, because when I push E minor 7, it shows you the correct fingering for an E minor 7. So go ahead and take a second to do that real quick. Now, you've got it. You're so close. That's a dominant 7 chord. That means you need to play E, G natural. Beautiful, that's it right there.
Whereas all of the other chords provide a video to watch as preparation, these pro chords only show a photo. In some instances, pro chords are actually a little bit easier than their basic counterparts, such as in the case of an A7 versus a basic A. So be sure to review your options before deciding what is best for your students or what they can and can't do. You should also know that you can play every single song in 4 chords with only 11 chords as long as you're using the basic 3-string or 1-string chord options. But within the pro chord versions, there are another 73 different chords that you'll find, but they're mostly just modified or embellished versions of the first 11, such as dominant 7, minor and major 7, add 9, sus 2, sus 4, major and minor 6, and power chords. Also, unless you selected Pro, no songs will have more than 5 chords. With the Pro chord option, sometimes there's more than that. In the later lessons on classroom best practices, we'll go more in depth on using supporting materials to get your entire ensemble playing and differentiating for students of different levels. I hope this lesson was helpful for you and you have a full understanding of all of the chord options with 4 chords. Have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next lesson.